Welcome. I know why you're here. We need to have a serious talk. We need to address that horrendous wheel gap you're running. But don't worry, Stratty's here to make everything better. By the power invested in me, I will take you to the fitment promised land.
You're not gonna hate man. Yes!
Okay, let's manage some expectations. You're not gonna be looking like that with just springs. Well, I mean, I guess you could.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be installing some lowering springs on my Mazda 3. Now right here we have some Eibach lowering springs for the 2019 plus Mazda 3 hatchback. Now shout out to my man San Weezy, follow him on Instagram. He actually sold these to me. He ran them for about 1,000 miles or so they're pretty much brand new. In the box he actually left me a letter just saying how much the videos have helped him and stuff like that, and that's honestly the goal of this whole channel. Just to help you people. I'm just a DIY person, just showing you that you can do these mods too. Now settle down, I know what you're thinking. Brandon, why don't you just go straight coilovers? Yeah, I could have, and I might in the future, but for me, it's a brand new car. It's a 2022 Mazda 3. In my head, what makes sense to me is completely get the life out of the factory suspension as much as possible. If it's a brand new vehicle, might as well use the components that came with the vehicle, wear them out, then move on. Now, if this was an older vehicle, yeah, I'd go straight coilovers. Being that I've never had a lowered car, the Eibach kit is more of kind of like a beginner lowering kit. Cork Sport is a little bit more aggressive of a lowering kit. I'm not really ready for all that, and if I wanted to do that, I can just get the coilovers and get the fitment that I really wanted. With all that said, let's go ahead and get into the install. So now that we're in the back, so the only thing we're going to need to remove back here, guys, is one 17mm bolt, which is this one right here, to the strut. So we're going to get our floor jack and have it jacked up to the torsion beam. That way it doesn't fall straight down on us, you know what I mean? So we have that support right there, so we'll go ahead and jack that up. With that 17mm bolt removed, you can do the same thing on the other side. That way when we lower down the jack, we'll have free suspension travel with this torsion beam going all the way down, and we'll be able to pull that spring out a lot easier. Now with the springs unloaded, we can go ahead and try and pop them out. So now what we're going to do is take our Eibach spring. Eibach specifically says that these springs need to be installed with the logo pointing up. So what we're going to do is take that upper spring perch that we took out of the factory one, put it on top of here. Now there's a little nub on the top that you can see right here. There's actually a hole for it to sit in. So we're going to line it up like that and put it back in place.
One eternity later.
And there you go. It takes a little finesse, but it's finally in. And now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright guys, so with both springs put in, we can go ahead and jack the car back up, put the 17mm bolt in, and we are good to go. And that is it for the back. Alright guys, so after finishing up with the back, now we're going to transition to the front. It's a little more hands-on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a 14mm socket and remove this sway bar link right here. With the sway bar out of the way, now what we're going to do is remove one of the brake lines. All you got to do is remove this rubber grommet right here. You can see right here. You just pull that out, just like that. And the other brake line is right here. So what we're going to do is take a flat head and work out this little clip right here. Kind of got to push it away from you. Helps if you get on this little lip right here. And now we can go ahead and remove the brake line. Okay, move that out of the way. Now what we're going to do is just take some WD-40 or some penetrating oil and put it right in between the bottom of this strut and the knuckle. That way we have an easy time sliding down. All right, guys, with that done, now we're gonna remove this 17mm bolt right here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Now we're going to take our 14mm and remove these 3 bolts. We're just going to loosen them for now because we don't want this dropping and falling down. Guys, it's story time. We are officially on day 3, finally finishing it up. So upon taking out both struts, I came across the problem when it came time to compress the spring and do all that jazz. I had everything ready to go. I had the offset wrench to get the top hat bolt off, to do all that stuff, everything that I've seen on YouTube and on the forums and stuff like that. But for the life of me, I could not get this top hat bolt off of this tower. I just couldn't get it off. I sat there for 2 hours figuring it out, trying, walking away, getting frustrated. It took so much out of me mentally. I went ahead and I cheated. I had to. I couldn't figure it out. I thought I was gonna have to put the stock suspension back on because I could not figure out how to get this bolt off. So I went ahead and took both shocks to, it was like a truck shop, off-road suspension truck shop. I'm not gonna lie to you, in that moment when I was compressing down the spring or trying to take the bolt off, I was shaking the entire time because I know how dangerous this is. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of lucky I took it over to a professional just to have somebody do it because, you know, it's just me and I didn't have anyone helping me and I didn't want to do anything wrong. It was kind of a blessing in disguise that I didn't get to get this top hat off. But anyway, I took it over to a shop, took the factory ones out, put the Eibachs in for me. Eibach bump stops are underneath here. We're good to go. So all we got to do is put the car back together. Now, I'm sorry I didn't get to show you guys compressing the spring, taking the spring off, all that jazz. There's plenty of videos on that if you need to do that. If you're a newbie like me, be extra careful. This is very dangerous when you're taking these springs off. So just take a lot of precaution when you're doing it. Now all we got to do is take our rebuilt shock and just put it right back in place. And there we go, guys. That is the installation complete of the Eibach springs on my 2022 Mazda 3. Now, this whole process took me a span of at least 3 days just because I had a couple hiccups here and there. The back was pretty straightforward, didn't take me too long. The front is what gave me the most problems. But nevertheless, it's done. I got it completely put back together. I got the car aligned. Now, this is my first time in a lowered vehicle, just having a car in general. I did notice after installing them, the comfort is really good. Feels like you can feel a lot more, like a lot more on the road. I'm sure that's maybe normal. Took it on about a 300-mile road trip. The car was great. It drove great. It handles great. It's great. I love it. As you can see, it's not too low. We can get about 2 fingers in the back and about 3 fingers in the front. When I first did it, it was about 4 fingers in the front and about almost 5 fingers in the back. This thing was an off-road monster before we lowered it a little bit. And it's crazy to me how much just an inch and a half, well, about 1.3 inches in the back and about almost an inch in the front, how much of a difference an inch makes, like in terms of standing over it, hand placements on stuff. But that's my little take on it, guys. That's the installation complete on the Eibach springs for the Mazda 3. It's pretty DIY friendly. My only recommendation if I had to do it over again is to have someone helping me that actually kind of knew what they were doing. It may not take you 3 days like it took me, but hopefully it can take you a little less time. But with that said, guys, we will see you in the next Mazda video. Peace.